It was always after something horrible happened. I would say, I need to go play Into the Woods, and she would know, or vice versa.
Tina Beauchamp and her twin sister played their game of make-believe often, one pretending to be lost, the other coming to her rescue. More than a game, it was an escape from a sexually and physically abusive sibling.
It was very confusing because as a little kid, you have really no idea what's going on. As you get a little older, this isn't right. Something's wrong here. And you start to think that you are just trash and that you're not worth anything.
Tina grew up in a poor neighborhood in California with a single mother of 5. She hardly knew her father. Their mother neglected them, and the only attention she gave came through harsh discipline.
I just remember just being sad all the time. It's like, where is that love? You get up every day and you're a shell of a person. There's nothing to look forward to.
The one time Tina worked up the nerve to say something about the abuse, her mother did nothing about it.
It is the ultimate betrayal, and it is almost as though that's it. If your own mother won't defend you or try and do something about it, it confirms in your mind that you are worthless.
The sexual abuse stopped when Tina stood up to her abuser at age 10, but the chaos and physical abuse at home continued. At 13, she downed a bottle of aspirin trying to escape the pain. When that failed, she turned to promiscuity, drugs, and alcohol.
It was like, oh my gosh, this thing is, I'm numb when I'm doing this. I was much more free. I was able to laugh. Things became funny.
At 16, with no ambitions or hope for her future, she dropped out of school. And at 18, she married a physically and verbally abusive man.
The day we got married, something sort of broke in me, and I remember just breaking down and crying. And the people that were there thought, oh, she's so happy, she's crying. That's not why I was crying. I was crying because I felt like I had sealed my fate. Like, well, this is the best I can do. This is what I'm good for, is to be abused.
They moved to the East Coast to be closer to her husband's family. After earning her GED and landing a job in banking, Tina poured herself into her work.
I would go to work and I would do an excellent job because I wanted that praise. My bosses always loved me, so that became my new drug, my new escapism.
Afraid her husband would hurt her if she tried to leave, she endured the marriage. After 9 years, 2 of her sisters gave her the courage and a plane ticket to leave and fly back to California. But soon she was back to finding escape through drugs and unhealthy relationships.
At this point, I'm still trying to fill myself with something. And all this other stuff over here to the left is not working. It works temporarily, but it wears off.
In her 30s, Tina decided to volunteer at a local church's ministry, thinking that helping others might fill the void. She even began attending Sunday services on occasion. Then one morning, she woke up, feeling a darkness she'd never felt before.
There was something that came on me. It felt like an oppression. And I had been depressed before, so I knew what that felt like. This was very different. I woke up with it, I was at work with it, and it really is hard to describe because it is such a dark place.
The feeling got worse, and she decided to go to a woman's Bible study. The study was on the book of James.
Because this darkness, this oppression was so severe, I said, I've got to try it. I have to try something. I'm desperate. This darkness is on me, even though I'm opening the Bible up. They asked me to read, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, okay. So as soon as I started reading James, that oppression went away. And that darkness never came back.
Wanting to know more, she started digging into the Bible for answers. One night, she arrived early to Bible study and noticed a scripture reference on the board.
Oh, Jeremiah 29:11. Okay, so I looked it up, and it was like, that was written for me I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you a hope and a future. And I thought, oh my gosh, you really are pursuing me.
Finally, she understood that her only hope would come through salvation in Jesus Christ. Soon after, she made a decision.
All that stuff that happened to me in the past, He's renewed me as His daughter. And what Jesus did on the cross, Him going step by step, carrying that cross for us, it hit me in that moment, and I fell down on my knees. Jesus, no matter what happens in this life, and no matter what has happened in this life, you're it. You're it for me. You're that thing that I've been searching for so long.
After giving her life to Christ, she realized she still needed to heal from her past. She sought counseling from a Christian therapist and asked God for help.
I remember my first counseling appointment, and I said, Jesus, please come with me. Well, He was already there, but hold my hand. I need for you to hold my hand going in here.
As she grew in her faith, Tina overcame the hurt from her past. She now works with victims of human trafficking and has plans to open a women's shelter. She says that Jesus took away all of her pain and gave her purpose instead.
He's using what I went through to help women now that don't know Him, that don't feel that they have value or worth. And I'm there to say that you do. You absolutely do.